an update to a fire burning in the Sawtooth National Forest. The Summit Creek fire is now 54% contained and has burned more than 1,700 acres. The Sawtooth National Forest says there are currently no buildings threatened. The U.S. Forest Service expects crews to have this fire fully contained by Sunday. At least one person is still missing after a crash sent a pickup truck into the Payette River over the weekend. Idaho State Police say the driver is a 40-year-old man from Billings, Montana. Troopers say a head-on collision south of Cascade sent his pickup truck into the rapids. This is new video from Code Red Towing of Idaho. Search and rescue crews used boats and kayakers to get tow lines to the truck, which was then removed from the Payette River. Their operation has now shifted from a rescue to a recovery. The families of Ethan Chapin, Xana Kernodle, Madison Mogan, and Kaylee Consalves sued WSU in January. They claim the school knew about what they call concerning and predatory behavior by Brian Koberger, who was a WSU grad and student employee. They say there were 13 formal complaints, and some students even needed security escorts. WSU denies the claims, saying the crimes weren't predictable and it had no legal duty to stop them. Two Treasure Valley fire districts could become one. It's a move that fire chiefs say it is about long-term financial stability. The Nampa and Kuna fire districts are considering merging because a state cap limits how much their budgets can grow, even as the area continues to boom. Consolidation would tackle today's strain while preparing for the growth and future ahead. Here's Aspen Shumpert with the story.
And the quicker care we can get to those critical patients.
Each district's Board of Commissioners will vote in the next few weeks to potentially move things forward. We'll have when and where on our website at ktvb.com. But if the board chooses to move forward, community outreach and town halls will take place this summer with opportunities for you to have your say too. Then a final vote from each board will come later this fall. It is important to note that these two districts can consolidate because they are independent fire districts with board directors, not city fire departments run by the city, which have different laws to follow.
We have at least some rain with these storms that we keep talking about. So how much rain actually does help these situations?
Yeah, small amounts of rain are not necessarily extremely helpful. Rain does not completely eliminate the risk of fire altogether, especially if it is not a lot of rain, but also if the winds are blowing erratically in different directions, switching directions, or if lightning is still actively striking.
Sometimes those fields are just a little bit damper, so it may not show up right away. And that becomes really important because those are the fires that can show up 2 to 3 weeks sometimes after the lightning event.
So what he's saying there is that some fires can smolder unnoticed for days or even weeks after a lightning strike. And because the land was maybe just a little bit damp from rain, it then could eventually still turn into a full-blown fire at a later point. So it doesn't have to be as soon as the lightning hits the ground.
I was going to say, you add that in, you add the wind. Again, we mentioned wind really causing a big issue too.
Making it extremely unpredictable at times, yeah. A few different fires in the past 24 hours, the DeWaff, Black Ridge, Kenyon Springs, and Summit Creek. DeWaff is just east of Rupert. If we zoom in here, the Kenyon Springs is west of Wendell, Jerome. Those two specifically, at last check, no longer progressing forward. But then if we look north of the Snake River Plain, Black Ridge, which is near Richfield, that fire is in a little bit of a trickier spot, which means crews are having a difficult time firefighting that. It is still growing at this time. Applications close March 15th, but next Friday, January 23rd, the Idaho Supreme Court will hear oral arguments on the program's legality and whether or not it violates the state constitution. While the lawsuit is pending, the state is allowed to move forward with the tax credits, but a court ruling could determine if the tax credits are granted to families in several months. The Homedale Senior Center is closed. It abruptly shut its doors December 30th, leaving seniors without services. The Homedale Police Department confirms they're investigating fraud allegations.
News Channel 7, this is a news update.
Thanks for joining us on this news update. I'm Audrielle Tackett. We're continuing to follow the massive FBI and ICE raid at a horse racing track in Wilder over the weekend. It ended in 5 people arrested, accused of illegal gambling, and more than 100 undocumented people detained by ICE. We talked to local immigration attorneys, one of whom was on the ground after law enforcement descended on La Catedral Arena. Cesar Orozco, one of the 5 people accused of running the illegal gambling operation, was in federal court yesterday. According to court documents, Orozco was collecting the gambling money in backpacks during the races. Ivan Tellez was at the federal courthouse yesterday. He did not go into Orozco's hearing, but waited in the federal courthouse lobby. We spoke to him. He did not want to go on camera or say why he was at the courthouse. Good news for coffee and donut fans. Get ready because a local real estate company, Talk Commercial, confirms at least 2 Dunkin' Donut franchises are coming to the Boise area. The real estate group says that the clients, Dunkin' Donuts, are actively looking for locations in the area, specifically spots with existing drive-thrus. They're also weighing if new construction would be better. They also don't know when exactly they would open up. Dunkin' Donuts says the market could eventually support at least 20 stores. Thank you so much for joining us for this special edition of Exploring Idaho. A reminder, you can see a new part of Idaho every Thursday night at 10 p.m. And you can watch all previous episodes, including the originals, right now on KTVB Plus, KTVB.com, and the KTVB YouTube page. And remember, when you head out to explore Idaho's outdoors, keep Idaho clean. If you pack it in, remember to pack it back out. We'll see you next time.